Here we have the Geogenanthus Ciliatus, a recent or a fairly recent houseplant to the world. It hasn't been in production for very long, which makes it pretty exciting. This plant is really well known for how dark the foliage is. The new foliage comes in quite green with a little bit of purple. You can see some of the veins in there, but then it hardens off into this dark form that we see as it matures. This plant natively grows in the understories down in South America, so it does lend itself to a little bit of low light. However, if you put it in too low of light for too long, it'll actually lose some of that color that we really love the plant for. We don't shine these. These are actually a naturally shiny plant. They have a little cuticle on them. Just think of it sort of like a wax covering. It's not wax, but it's kind of like that, in that it doesn't allow a lot of moisture to escape through the leaves. So it makes it somewhat drought tolerant. But anyway, let's get into the care instructions for this plant. If you want to have a really healthy and thriving Geogenanthus, what you want to do is put it in a bright light scenario. You don't have to put it like right in the window like ficus light or succulent light, but it does need to see a wide view of the sky nonetheless. Maybe just back it off the window a couple of feet so it doesn't get burned by those really hot light sun rays. As far as watering goes, they are fairly thirsty. We water them when they're about 25% dry, and you can carry that on year round. If you want to fertilize this plant, they aren't massive feeders, but during the spring and summer months when they're actively growing, we do recommend applying like a well-balanced fertilizer, like a 10-10-10, just as directed on the packaging, and that'll help you grow a nice little big healthy plant. As far as propagating goes, you can actually divide the rhizomes when you repot, or you can do stem cuttings. Just take a little stem cutting, put it in some water, it'll root up, and then you can plant it in soil. Speaking of repotting, we like to do that during the spring and summer months if the root system has started to come out of the bottom drainage holes. And we recommend just going up one pot size. So for example, this is a 6-inch pot. We would go up to a 7-inch pot. You'd get away with an 8-inch pot as well, but I wouldn't go up much further than that. As far as soil comes, I just use a general purpose houseplant soil mixed in with, so 3 parts general houseplant soil mixed in with 1 part like perlite or orchid bark, just to give it a nice little extra drainage. But that's going to do it for the care instructions for the Geogenanthus Ciliatus, otherwise known as just the Geo. If you have any questions about this plant, leave them in the comment section below.